William Shackleton was an aircraft designer and by the early 1920s worked for the Air Navigation and Engineering Company Limited of Addlestone, Surrey. The company's name was somewhat larger than the aeroplanes it produced, Shackleton designing for them the ANEC 1 and 2, both ultralights being entered in the various limb trials of the 1920s. In 1924, Shackleton moved north to become chief designer of the William Beardmore Company in Scotland. He designed for them the Beardmore Wee-Bee, near identical to the ANEC-2, and also worked on the Beardmore Inflexible Bomber. However, by 1928 he was in poor health and, having had enough of the Scottish liquid sunshine, emigrated to Melbourne, Australia, becoming chief designer of the Larkin Aircraft Supply Company. There he designed two aircraft, the single-engine Larkin Lascota and the three-engine Larkin Lascondor. Whilst in Melbourne, Shackleton met Lee Murray, a former Royal Flying Corps and Australian Air Force pilot, now working as an air taxi pilot, operating a De Soto monoplane. By 1931, the pair were heading back to England to form Shackleton-Murray, aircraft designers and consultants. Shackleton headed back to London on a steamer. Murray, on the other hand, went by steamer to Vancouver with his De Soto. Murray flew the De Soto from Vancouver down to San Diego and then across the United States of America to New York, test flying as many aircraft as he could on the way. Shackleton's first design for the new company certainly was ambitious, a 30-seat commercial monoplane with 4 Armstrong Siddeley Panther engines arranged in a push-me-pull-you configuration above the wing. On a more practical level, one of the aircraft Murray had test flown on his journey across America was the Curtiss Junior, and Shackleton and Murray set to designing a similarly configured aeroplane. With a view to series production, the prototype included as many standardized parts as possible, but lacking the facilities to build the aircraft themselves, the prototype was constructed by Airspeed Limited of York. Whilst influenced by the Curtiss Wright Junior, in construction the Shackleton-Murray SM-1, as the completed aircraft was known, was quite different, having a plywood and spruce fuselage. The aeroplane was certified at Martlesham Heath in September 1933, and on the 28th of the same month appeared on the cover of Flight magazine, as seen here. Reviews of the aeroplane were generally favourable, the long travel undercarriage making ground handling easy, and the aircraft being fitted with full dual controls for instruction. Cockpit noise was said to be low, with the engine, a Hirth HM60 of 70 horsepower, being mounted in the centre section and driving a pusher propeller. Even before the prototype had flown, Shackleton-Murray had announced plans for production, and those production aircraft would have been fitted with a Pobjoy radial engine. But clouds were on the horizon. Shackleton-Murray, whilst finding work, were not actually making any profit, and Lee Murray could not continue. Murray took the position of General Manager of de Havilland Canada. In fact, he was to spend the rest of his career with de Havilland in Canada, Australia and the United Kingdom. The sole Shackleton-Murray SM-1 aeroplane was advertised for sale. William Shackleton continued in aircraft consultancy and sales, and in 1934 his ship came in. It sailed to Papua New Guinea, Shackleton having brokered a deal for several Ford trimotors. By the late 1930s, W.S. Shackleton Limited was one of Britain's largest aircraft sales companies. The Shackleton-Murray SM-1 was eventually sold to Alan Algernon Bathurst, otherwise known as Lord Apsley, and Miss Dolly Miles. History does not record the status of Miss Dolly Miles. Whether she was a sleeping partner, or indeed a sleeping partner, we do not know, but his lordship certainly liked the aeroplane. On the 22nd of July 1936, his lordship was flying from Gloucestershire to London via the Isle of Wight. Somewhere over the Solent, near Cowes, the engine failed. His lordship ditched the SM-1 and was rescued by a passing yacht. The bedraggled aeroplane was towed into Cowes. His lordship replaced the SM-1 with a Cronfield drone. The remains of the SM-1 were given to an Air Training Corps squadron in Stroud, Gloucestershire, who intended to fit an Armstrong-Siddeley Jennet engine for ground runs only. Nothing remained by the end of the Second World War. The Shackleton-Murray SM-1 was undoubtedly a good aeroplane and probably deserved a better fate. Thank you for watching.